So, hello, how are you? Dear friends, now once again let me go for the chapter life processes. We'll take the review first regarding the modes of nutrition. What we learn that nutrition is the process by which organisms take their food. This food provides material for growth, development and also energy for metabolic activities. The nutrition is mainly divided into autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic mode is that where organism can synthesize their own food, whereas heterotrophic is that where organism cannot synthesize their own food and therefore they have to depend upon others for getting their food. Here autotrophic organisms are mainly classified as photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic. Photo means light. These are the group of organisms where they are preparing or synthesizing their organic food using light as an energy. And these photoautotrophs are blue-green algae. They are also called as cyanobacteria. Photosynthetic bacteria. Yes, there are certain bacteria. They also perform photosynthesis. Then the protists. These are unicellular organisms like diatoms and dinoflagellates and present in very large number, particularly in oceanic system, and they perform the photosynthesis. And plants, we commonly call them as plant. They include the algae, then bryophyta, then pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiospers. So all these are photoautotrophic organisms. Then there is another group called chemoautotrophic organism. Here chemo refers to the source of energy. In this type of mode of nutrition, organisms synthesize organic food material, but the energy is obtained from oxidation of some chemical compounds. These organisms have this capacity. They brings about oxidation of certain compounds and the energy released through this oxidation is utilized for the synthesis of their own food material, and they includes the sulfur bacteria called thiobacillus or iron bacteria called ferrobacillus. A few group of organisms have this capacity. So photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs together constitutes the autotrophic group of organisms. Then the heterotrophic organisms are those which cannot synthesize their own food, but they get this food into their body by various mechanisms, and accordingly they are further classified as saprophytic organism, parasitic and holozoic. Now let us take first what are the saprophytic organism and what is saprophytic mode of nutrition. In this mode of nutrition, these which we call them as saprophytes absorb the food materials from dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animal origin. What happens then? These organisms secrete their enzymes outside the body and absorb the food material. These include certain bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes. Then there is another group of organisms, we call them as parasitic, and in this parasitic mode of nutrition, some of the organisms which include plants as well as animal, they live on the body of other organism which we call host, and from the host body they derive the food material slowly and gradually without killing the host. The plant parasites include cuscuta, a common example we know, where this cuscuta plant twine around the host plant, penetrate the root inside their body in xylem and phloem and absorb the food material ready-made. While in case of animal parasites, as we know that there are certain worms which grow in our digestive system, there are certain ectoparasites like mosquito, like lice. These are the organism which shows these types of mode of nutrition. And then there is another we call as holozoic mode of nutrition, which is exclusively shown by animals. In holozoic mode of nutrition, friends, especially the organism engulf the food inside their body, that the process we call ingestion. After ingesting the food, this food is simplified by chemical processes. We called it as a digestion. After digestion, the simplified food is absorbed in the body, and this simplified food is utilized by this organism for building their biomolecules for their growth and development. This holozoic mode of nutrition is shown by animals. As you know that most of the animals, they show predation, where they kill their prey and thereby they get food. The human being, however, prepare their own food material in the way they are cooking their food. Actually, they are not preparing the food, they are cooking their food, and thereby we are also including in this holozoic mode of nutrition. So, once again, in this review, we have to understand these are the various modes of nutrition, thereby the organism get their food variously. But the food is the most important part. Food exclusively is organic in nature. It stores energy in it, and it also supplies various materials like carbohydrate, protein, fats, minerals and water to the organism, and that's what we have to understand regarding the mode of nutrition. Now today we are going to learn the first that we call as autotrophic mode of nutrition, which is particularly seen in plant, that we call as photoautotropic mode of nutrition. Now what is photoautotropic mode of nutrition? Once again, it is a type of mode of nutrition where organisms synthesize complex energy-rich organic compounds with the help of simple raw material using light as an energy. Where light energy is important, and therefore they are called as photoautotropic organisms. In this photoautotropic mode of nutrition, the raw material is carbon dioxide present in the air, absorbed by the plant, water absorbed from the soil. The pigments, they are most important. These pigments are chlorophylls and carotenoids having capacity to trap the light and convert light energy into chemical energy. The pigment plays very important role, and the energy source is sunlight. Now let us see and talk about the most important process that we call as photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis actually is a synthesis of organic compounds. You know, organic compounds are those which are containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in a proper proportion. And the examples of organic compounds are carbohydrates, protein, fats. There are various organic acid, then DNA and RNA. All these are organic compounds because they are containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in a proper proportion. Another important feature of organic matter is that this is being produced exclusively by living organism, particularly by plant initially, and then it is transferred to various groups of organisms later. And therefore, photosynthesis is a synthesis of organic compound. What is the raw material? Using carbon dioxide, water and minerals. These are the raw material. And all these raw materials are then composed into one organic compound using this solar energy. So this solar energy, it is absorbed by photosynthetic pigments. I am using the word photosynthetic pigment because these are not only chlorophylls. Along with the chlorophylls, there are carotenoids also. Chlorophylls, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B. Carotenoids, they are carotene, orange color, xanthophyll, yellow in color. These are various pigments present in the plants. They are absorbing this collectively, and therefore photosynthetic pigments absorb the solar energy and synthesize organic compound with the help of carbon dioxide, water and mineral. This process is together called as photosynthesis. And this is the very famous equation we have to understand. Carbon dioxide and water react with each other using light as a source of energy, which is absorbed by chlorophyll to synthesize this C6H12O6, that is glucose. It is the first ever simple carbohydrate produced in this process, which is then converted into complex carbohydrates, sugars and starch and stored into the plant. Then water, and then oxygen is released as a byproduct. In photosynthesis, oxygen is released as a byproduct. Then another important aspect of the photosynthesis we have to understand is the site. The photosynthesis occurs where? This question often arises. We have to understand very specifically that in prokaryotic photosynthetic organisms, there are two groups of organisms. Prokaryotic organisms which perform photosynthesis, they include blue-green algae like nostoc and alevina, while there are certain photosynthetic bacteria, they contain pigment in them like chlorobium, rhodospirillum. These also perform photosynthesis, but they do not release oxygen. But anyway, they are called prokaryotic photosynthetic organisms, and they also perform substantial amount of photosynthesis. And then there are Eukaryotic photosynthetic organism like green plast, they perform photosynthesis in green plastids that we call chloroplast, while blue-green algae and bacteria, they perform photosynthesis within their cell cytoplasm. In blue-green algae, there are present certain structures where the pigments are present, but they don't have chloroplast. The photosynthetic prokaryotic organism do not have chloroplast. That's what we have to understand here. While in eukaryotic photosynthetic organism, these are the chloroplasts. We call them as a green plastid containing different types of pigment where actually a process of photosynthesis occurs. In higher plants, what we call them as the plant which are having root, stem and leaves from pteridophyta, gymnosperm and angiosperms, especially the leaves are the organs which are modified for performing photosynthesis. Their architectural structure is so that it is properly meant for process of photosynthesis, because you know that the leaves are dorsiventrally flattened structure, they are expanded, so can they trap more and more amount of sunlight. As you can see that usually they appear green because they are having large amount of green photosynthetic pigment along with the carotene and xanthophyll, and they are having very much specific opening that we call as stomata for gaseous exchange. Yeah, stomata open and close during day and night, and they control opening and closing of the stomata, and thereby the exchange of gases being also controlled. So in this way, in the initials regarding photosynthesis, before we go to the mechanism, we have to understand that the photosynthesis is that process that makes the food, and that food is not only for the plants but for rest of the living organism. The photosynthesis is the only process on this earth that trap the sunlight, convert light energy into chemical energy stored into the food material, and this food is available to all the living organism. Another important feature of photosynthesis that it is the only process that releases oxygen. Yes, this oxygen is required for respiration or biological oxidation of food and to release energy. The raw material being produced by the process of photosynthesis, it is required by all living organisms. It is the only process that traps the carbon dioxide from the air, thereby it reduces the pollution and the global warming. And if you see and if you count the number of uses of photosynthesis, one more thing we have to add is that what the fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, coal, natural gases we are using now, they are direct indirect products of the plants which perform photosynthesis in the geological past, and now we are using them. So with this aspect, I conclude this particular aspect. In the next period, we will talk about mechanism of photosynthesis, opening and closing of the stomata. Till then, I say goodbye. Please share this video with your friends. If you liked it, you please say like and then comment upon it. Thank you very much.